What is up, my Pika crew? This is ThePikaWu, and welcome to another Pokemon Wi-Fi battle. This one's going to be an underused tier match against a guy called Ryan R. A link to his channel will be in the description below. So I won't go into too much detail about my team, because I have used it in the past and I do have a previous video that explains each of the Pokemon and their movesets, so I'll just link to that video instead, and it's going to be in the description below as well. So let's look at my opponent's team. He's running 2 defensive Pokemon in the shape of Gourgeist and Goodra, and then 4 really offensive Frail Sweepers. On my end, I'm running 2 dedicated defensive Pokemon, my Venusaur and my Blastoise, and then 4 offensive Pokemon, but my Sweepers are generally bulky in nature. For example, my Doublade and my Hydreigon have really great natural bulk. So a couple of Pokemon are pretty threatening on my opponent's team, specifically his Gardevoir. My team is relatively slow, so Gardevoir can outspeed the majority of my team and at the same time deal real super effective damage against every Pokemon on my team because Gardevoir has really great type coverage. Another Pokemon that's pretty threatening is going to be that Goodra. The reason why it's pretty threatening is it has really great coverage and it's extremely bulky. It walls all of my special attackers. Another Pokemon that I need to look out for is going to be that Cloyster, but I do have my Doublade to keep it in check. So long as my Doublade's alive, his Cloyster really can't do much. So in terms of my strategy is to conserve my Doublade for as long as possible so that I can deal with his Beedrill and I can deal with his Cloyster, and at the same time dish out really powerful moves with my Hydreigon and my Mamoswine. And if I break down his team, I might actually get a sweep with one of my Pokemon. So that's basically my strategy, and I hope you guys enjoy. So I'm going to lead off with my Mamoswine as my opponent leads off with his Gardevoir. Like I said in the team preview, Gardevoir is pretty threatening because it has really great type coverage. So I don't really want to mess around against this Gardevoir, and I'm going to go straight for the Earthquake. Now I can live any one hit against this Gardevoir because I do carry the Focus Sash, but turns out I actually outspeed this Gardevoir, and I can just take it down without breaking my Sash. I think that Gardevoir is a modest set, and it was a speed tie there, so I was able to win the speed tie and take him down. Now, Cloyster comes in. It can take me out with an Icicle Spear because I don't have the Thick Fat ability, and I cannot take him down with an Earthquake Ice Shard combination, so I have to switch out. So I'm going to bring in a pretty good Cloyster counter, and that's going to be my Mega Blastoise because I'm invested in max HP and max defense. I can eat any hit that this Cloyster wants to dish out. The best thing you can go for is the Rock Blast, and that's neutral damage and unstab, so that shouldn't be doing too much damage even after the Shell Smash boost. The even better part is he kind of wasted his White Herb there, so the next time he wants to go for the Shell Smash, he actually is going to have lower defenses. So as you can see here, Shell Smash is going to do around 25% or so. Actually does a decent amount, but I'm able to just phase him out with the Roar, remove him from play for the time being, and bring in another Pokemon, and that's gonna be the Gourgeist. Now the Gourgeist scares me away because I don't want to take a Grass type move, so I'm gonna go ahead and actually bring in my Hydreigon to resist the hit. And if he wants to predict a switch by going for the Will-O-Wisp, I can take that as well because Hydreigon's actually the best Pokemon to take the Will-O-Wisp. So I'm gonna go ahead and just go for the Dark Pulse. The main reason why I don't decide to predict this switch is because he doesn't really have much to take the Dark Pulse. He really has just his Goodra, and if he brings that in, I can just go for the Draco Meteor the next turn anyways. So he actually overpredicts, stays in, he's going to take a Dark Pulse to the face, and he's going to get taken down. So now he's going to bring in his Darmanitan. Darmanitan's going to go for the U-turn, it's pretty obvious. I don't think he's going to go for the Flare Blitz. If he does, that would be a really great play, because I bring in my Doublade here, and luckily for me, he just goes for the safe play, the U-turn. He is going to get the switch initiative, which is fine, but for the time being, I dealt with his Darmanitan. So here he's going to bring in his Goodra. Goodra has the potential Fire-type move, and I don't want to take that, so I'm just going to go ahead and bring in my Hydreigon again. My opponent actually is going to go for a physical attack, which is kind of interesting because I don't really see many physically based Goodras. So luckily for me, I am immune to that Earthquake, and I can just retaliate back with the Draco Meteor. I'm actually surprised this Goodra lives the hit because that was a Life Orb Draco Meteor coming from a Hydreigon, but I guess Goodra are generally bulky, and this is probably an Assault Vest, set, so he probably has even more special defense than I anticipated. And he's just going to retaliate back with his own Draco Meteor, so that's going to be a mixed Goodra set, and he's going to take me down. That's really unfortunate for me, because Hydreigon definitely could have been very useful later on in the match, but I know this Goodra probably won't be carrying max speed, so I'm just going to go ahead and go for the Earthquake. And at the same time, if he did switch out, I could, pull off an Earthquake and deal massive damage against any other Pokemon. So that's why I went for Earthquake rather than Ice Shard. So over here, I'm going to go ahead and just stay in and go for the Earthquake again, because he hasn't really broken my Sash yet, and I can just retaliate back and take down this Darmanitan as well. So Mamoswine doing a ton of work against my opponent's team. And that's why Stealth Rocks are really important. It breaks Focus Sashes so that situations like this won't be as devastating. So that's really great for me. Mamoswine gets taken down, but I do take down 3 Pokemon with him. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in my Doublade as he takes down my Mamoswine with an Ice Shard. The main reason why is because I completely wall him. The best thing he can go for is the Razor Shell, and because I'm Eviolite and have base 150 defense, I can take a lot of those, and I am basically free to set up. If he stays in, that means I get even more Swords Dances, so he stays in and goes for the Icicle Spear just to gauge how much damage he can do to this Doublade, and unfortunately for him, that means I get at least 2 Swords Dances up. And this is really, really great because the other Pokemon he has on his team are generally pretty frail, and after I get my Swords Dance boosts, my priority Shadow Sneak can actually sweep the rest of my opponent's team. So that's basically my game plan. Set up as many Swords Dances, then go for the Shadow Sneak. My opponent is kind of in a problematic dilemma, so he's just going to go ahead and go for the Shell Smash, hoping that I go for another Swords Dance or something, but unfortunately for him, I go for the Sacred Sword there, and Cloyster's get taken down. And he really has 1 Pokemon left, and that's going to be his Beedrill. Beedrill really can't take me down. Even if he goes for the knockoff, I should be able to live the hit, and that basically is going to seal the deal for me. So that is going to be the match. I hope you guys enjoyed this battle. If you guys did, feel free to leave a like, a favorite, and a comment, and stay tuned for the comment question of the day. If you haven't subscribed already, feel free to join the Pika crew by subscribing. So this is ThePikaWu. Thank you for watching my battle, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out, guys.